We have no need for another Cold War or a bloody war. But if we are attacked militarily, if they try to take away our freedom, our lives, our children's lives, we will defend ourselves.
It won't be bloodless. There will be suffering. There will be sacrifice.
President Putin has ordered his troops into the Donbas region of Ukraine. He says he doesn't plan to occupy the country, but he does promise consequences for anyone who intervenes. President Biden calls it unjustified. Now, some Ukrainians feel as though war has already begun and blood has been shed. Heavy shelling has taken the lives of citizens in eastern Ukraine, controlled by Russian-backed rebels. Ukraine's president sending a message directly to the Russian people today after attempts to talk to President Putin.
Today I initiated a telephone conversation with the President of the Russian Federation. Result is silence. If the leadership of Russia does not want to sit at the table with us to make peace, perhaps it will sit at the table with you. Does Russia want a war?
President Putin had this message earlier today.
Our country is always open for direct and honest dialogue, for finding diplomatic solutions to the most difficult problems. But I repeat, Russia's interests and the security of our citizens are non-negotiable for us.
Senator Kevin Cramer says the U.S. fiercely condemns this violent action and stands strongly in support of Ukraine, adding that what we choose to do will also send a message to China on Taiwan. Now, President Biden has issued crippling sanctions on Russia's banks, government, and oligarchs, but in a CNN interview, the CEO of Ukraine's state-owned gas company says Germany's refusal to certify the Nord Stream 2 pipeline may have the greatest chance of deterring Putin.
Putin wanted to divert all the gas flows from Ukraine to Nord Stream 2 before a full-scale invasion, so that such a full-scale invasion would not affect energy trade with Europe, because he still hoped that the West would accept his revisionism. And now it's not happening, and it's a very clear sign from Germany that they're not accepting it.
President Biden also announced sanctions on Nord Stream and its corporate officers. Montana Senator Steve Daines responding, President Biden should have never given the green light to Putin's pipeline in the first place, especially while killing the Keystone XL pipeline at home. Now, a group of Republican senators, including both from North Dakota, want to help European allies be less dependent on Russian gas by increasing U.S. liquefied natural gas exports. In a letter to the Energy Department, Senators John Hoeven and Kevin Cramer joined 25 colleagues in writing that it would help those countries while creating U.S. jobs and lowering emissions.
It's better environmentally. Our natural gas on a life cycle basis is 41% lower carbon emissions than the natural gas from Russia because their environmental standards are not as good.
Hoeven emphasized that an increase in these exports would be especially good for North Dakota's economy. Well, let's see what our forecast looks like. Henry Blakes joins us now.
It's going to be another frigid night, so much that the wind chill advisory had to be reissued by the National Weather Service. So these advisories and warnings continue across the entire first warn viewing area and should expire by noon Thursday Central Time. We'll likely have wind chills between, let's say, 30 to 40 below here in Williston, but as you get closer to the Turtle Mountains and the Red River Valley, that's where they had the potential of near 40 to 45 below zero wind chills. So no matter where you are, bundle up and dress warm for tomorrow. You'll notice as we do go into the afternoon, we start to get wind chills closer to zero. So at least many of us will be above zero for tomorrow, not by much though. Some teens are going to be likely, so these are baby steps in the right direction, and gradually we'll have some milder weather by next week. I'll talk more about your weather in a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Henry. Well, North Dakota and Montana leaders have been fighting the Biden administration's energy policies from day one. Now it's putting eastern Montana's coal fields in a dire position. Bighorn County, encompassing most of the Crow Indian Reservation, is one of the most coal-dependent communities in America. Taxes and royalties from coal mining at Spring Creek funds nearly 75% of government services. Now, as the White House prepares to update its climate damage price tag to more than $51 per ton of carbon dioxide emitted, the 15 mines in the area need to decide: pay about $1 billion a year to keep mining, or shut down operations and cripple the economies they support. Montana's ranchers are also facing hardship. After a record drought and wildfire season and a pandemic, now supply chain issues, inflation, and market manipulation from big packers.
You go to the grocery store and you're looking at steaks for $9.99, $15.99. Well, I'm not getting that. The rancher and the feedlot person isn't getting that. And the grocery store isn't getting that. It's the middle. It's the major packers who are manipulating and holding that profit for themselves.
That's also why the North Dakota Farmers Union is fighting for stronger enforcement of antitrust laws. Leaders say less competition in agriculture hurts producers and consumers.
It's no longer a free market or a fair market. It's a manipulated market due to the interest of one sector. And again, the consumer and the rancher, the consumer and the farmer are not reaping any of those benefits.
The administration launched a $1 billion plan to address the issues, which the union hopes will enhance the food supply chain's resiliency and help family farms and ranches. Now, manipulation can come in many forms, and that includes scams. A Western North Dakota woman lost thousands of dollars when duped by a scammer saying she had to pay money to win money. Sarah Berlinger shares her warning for others.
A North Dakota woman who wants to remain anonymous says her scam experience started with a letter.
I am a winner of a lottery congratulating me, and the amount of the winnings was $750,000.
It asked her to call a number for instructions to claim the prize and gave her a check to deposit in her bank account. The scammer told her to withdraw $7,500 for tax purposes and send the money to South Carolina.
Withdraw $7,500 in $100 bills, and then place the $100 bills in the interior of a magazine, and then place the magazine into a brown envelope and mail it.
She says she was going to put the money to good use to pay off bills and repair broken appliances.
I was very excited to be knowledgeable of receiving this amount, knowing that we will be able to catch up on our medical bills.
But after a visit to the bank, she discovered the prize was a scam. The bank teller told her the check was fake and she was out thousands of dollars.
Mentioned to the teller, I says, I don't see how that's possible because I just made a deposit. And she says, well, this check came back.
The state's Consumer Protection Division says imposter scams are common, and in North Dakota last year, victims lost a total of $715,000. They have advice on how to not become the next victim.
If you have really won something, there will never, ever, under any circumstances, be any fee. There will not be a $1,000 fee. There will not be a $10 fee. So anytime the caller asks for money, it is a scam.
The experience has certainly changed how this victim thinks.
Beware, people. Be cautious. Regardless of what the people say when they call you, there are scams.
She hopes it will change how you think too. I'm Sarah Berlinger reporting for your News Leader.
You can direct any questions to the Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 1-800-472-2600. Now, the Federal Trade Commission says it received more than 3,300 fraud reports from North Dakotans last year for total losses of nearly $9 million. The FTC says most were imposter scams, online shopping, phony sweepstakes, and credit report scams. Well, cyber attacks are another issue that's unfortunately becoming more prevalent. That means cybersecurity jobs are booming. But there are others in that realm, like video game programming and coding. That's what students at Watford City High are learning from Kelsey Kronberg's gaming and design class, which she says also sparks interest in computer science and IT.
It's a really hard push to tell them, you should take AP Computer Science, you should take IT Fundamentals, you should take Intro to Cybersecurity or Intro to Networking. Those classes sound scary, but when you bring in something like gaming and design that is something that they love and they enjoy, it opens up the pathways.
Gaming and design also helps teach critical thinking, problem solving, and math. Now, for those heading to college at Williston State, scholarships are now available to students from eastern Montana and north central North Dakota that are part-time or fully online. The scholarships cover tuition and fees up to 16 credit hours for 4 consecutive semesters.
So that individual that's either working or has family commitments, they can only take a class or 2 a semester as long as they declare their intent to finish an associate's degree. We're allowing them to stretch that time a little bit longer.
Students from a total of 53 counties in North Dakota and Montana are eligible. Well, a new Vision Zero campaign features a true story. We have that story next.
You're watching the Night Report at 10, live on KUMV-TV, your news leader.